This video is about missing handbags. I'll explain in a minute what I mean by that, but first I need to ask you a favor. I'm going to ask you to think of something and then pause the video and leave your response in the comment section below. And I'm going to ask you to actually do that because most people don't, and I think if you do, it'll be really interesting, so be the exception. So here's what I want you to do. Think about handbags that were so popular at some point that you felt like you saw them everywhere. It can be on social media, but especially in real life. And I'll be talking about some of these bags in this video, so I will be curious to see if your responses overlap with the bags that I'm choosing to talk about today, and to see if there are any that I missed. Now, pause the video, think about those super popular bags, and put your response in the comments below. And for those of you who haven't paused, I'll do my intro. Welcome, I'm Autumn Beckman, and I'm here to help you live your most luxurious life within your budget. We talk about everything from handbags to everyday luxuries, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any videos on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and so you don't miss my community posts. That's where I post current sales and fabulous finds. Also, don't miss my website, autumnbeckman.com. It will be linked below, where you can pick up items that I have personally designed for you to help you curate and organize a purposeful collection of your most treasured items. For example, the My Handbag Collection Organizer. This is the front and the back of the item tracker inside the organizer, and this is where you can write down all of the information that you would want to have to keep track of each of your bags or small goods. I'm looking forward to seeing what you just wrote in the comment section, because you did it, right? And here's why I asked you to do this. The other day I was thinking about this Louis Vuitton bag that used to be so popular, we saw them everywhere. It was the Louis Vuitton Favorite. Remember that one? And what struck me is, as popular as that was, you never see them anymore. Now, for a little context, where you live has an effect on that. If you're in a very rural place, you're not going to see luxury brand handbags everywhere anyway. But if you're like me and you lived in a big city, I was in Houston at the time, they were everywhere. Now, being in Oregon, you don't see luxury brand bags very much up here. It's just a different culture. But even in Houston, I had stopped seeing the Favorite. So that got me thinking, what happened to all the missing bags? Where are they? And what other popular bags are also missing? Think back to what you just wrote in the comments. Do you still see any of those bags around? When I was thinking about this, I came up with 8 bags, and I'll share those with you now. The first was the Louis Vuitton Favorite, and perhaps hand in hand in that was the Louis Vuitton Eva, but I think the Favorite was more popular, but you never see either of them anymore. Number 2, the Givenchy Antigona. Now these they still make, and I assume if they're still making them, people are buying them, but I used to see them all over the place. This one especially on social media, not as much in person. And now you never see them and nobody talks about them. I still want one. That bag is on my wish list, but I don't know which one I want because there are so many amazing ones. Number 3, the Saint Laurent Lulu. I actually did see someone with the Lulu the other day. This was a little strange. You don't see luxury bags in Oregon very much, at least not where I am in the Portland area. But we went out into the countryside to a tulip festival, which, by the way, spectacular. And we took the dogs, so a few of you have been asking about Paul and the dogs. Everybody's doing great. Vincent is also doing great. But the strange thing was, at this tulip festival, I saw more luxury brand handbags than I have seen in the entire time that we have been in Oregon. And I'm not sure why that was. I don't know if it was tourists coming from out of town. I suspect that had something to do with it, but I'm not sure. I didn't poll people. Bag number 4, the Louis Vuitton Pochette Métis. And perhaps hand in hand with that, the Coach Cassie, the full-size one, not the 19. They're still selling the 19. People still buy those. I see the 19 around a little bit, but the full-size Cassie, the original one, was very popular. I don't see them anymore. I don't see people talking about them. Same thing with the Pochette Métis. There are new styles coming out. They have the little tiny one, but I don't see people talking about them so much, and I definitely don't see people wearing them. The Chanel boy bag. This thing used to be everywhere, and now it's nowhere. Where did all the Chanel boy bags go? I think perhaps that one went out of style. They do still make them though, right? I don't follow Chanel's new releases, but I think they do. Number 6, the Louis Vuitton Artsy. That thing was everywhere. It was so popular. Now, I do know that that had a quality issue. The Pochette Métis did too. The Pochette, of course, where you fold the flap, it had the glazing issues, and there were several iterations of that bag to try to correct that issue, but I don't think it was ever really corrected. But then the Louis Vuitton Artsy also had glazing problems. There were select bags, not all of them, where the glazing would melt. So they were allowing people to take those bags in and trade them for for store credit. But I doubt everyone who had an artsy did that, so where are the other artsies now? Number 7, the Gucci Marmont. This is one that people complain was just oversaturated. It was everywhere, and there were so many different versions of that bag. And from what I've heard on social media, people just got sick of it. But where did all those bags go? And number 8, the Fendi Spy bag. Also a bag that was everywhere for a long time, but you don't see them anymore. I love the Fendi Spy bag. I have one. It's been a dream bag of mine for a long time, and I do carry mine. I also have a Coach Cassie. I haven't carried it in a long time, but it's not one I want to get rid of either. It's a great little bag. And I have a Louis Vuitton Eva. I mentioned that with the Louis Vuitton favorite. I haven't carried the Eva in a long time. I should probably pull that out again. So those are my 8 bags. I wonder how much that overlapped with yours. How many did we have in common? We'll find out in the comment section. But for those bags to have been everywhere, they had to be very popular, which meant a lot of people had them. But now you never see them anymore. So what happened to all those bags? I think in general, they either went out of style, they became too oversaturated. And then another thing that I noticed through the 8 that I mentioned is a lot of them have been discontinued. So I wonder in that case, is that just people want the new it thing? Once a bag is discontinued and something new comes out, they're like, chuck the old bag. I want the shiny pretty new thing. But still, the old bag exists, so what happened to it? I don't have an answer to this question. I would like you guys to help me out and let me know what you have done with popular bags that you've had. So for example, I can think of a few options, but I'm wondering what the most prevalent is. And I think we've probably done all of these, but let me know in the comments which one you tend to do the most with bags that you don't use anymore. So do we think these bags are still in people's collections? They're just not being pulled out and used, but being stored? Have they just been sold? We know you see these bags on the resale market, but I don't know that it's necessarily flooded with these particular bags. I guess some more than others. Some people give bags away, even very expensive ones like that. And then sometimes bags get trashed. Which of those is the most prevalent thing that you do? Personally, I almost never trash a bag. It has to be really trashed already for me to put it in the garbage. I tend to hold on to pieces. By the time I am ready to get rid of it, sometimes I'll give a bag away if it's one that doesn't have a lot of monetary value. If it does, then I sell it. But personally, I'm also not somebody who gets caught up in trends and hype. I've never been somebody who was in style, and I've never much cared about fitting in with my handbags or my wardrobe or anything about how I look. So most of those bags on that popular list, even though I like them, are not bags that I've added to my collection. So I've never had to deal with getting rid of them. I've also never cared if a bag is out of style. If I still enjoy it, then I use it. And that's all that matters. How about you? I'll have the 8 bags that I mentioned listed in the description box below, and links where you can find them in case you are interested in looking at those bags to pick one up or just to see what's out there right now in the resale market. And I'll also pop some videos up here if you want to keep watching. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I do appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.